Hi, everyone. Gerry Dulac along with Ray Fittipaldo, where we just got done listening to the Mike Tomlin news conference, our Steeler Report, brought to you by Savinas, Kane, and Gallucci, mesothelioma, and asbestos lawyers. They have 85 years of experience for getting rewards for people afflicted with those diseases. Check them out at sdklaw.com. Ray, Mike Tomlin saying today that he fully expects Cam Heyward to play Sunday against the Jets in MetLife Stadium. Cam, of course, has for most of training camp was doing his hold-in. We've seen him return to practice a little more active this week, but, he has issues with the organization about getting some type of new deal.
Right.
I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't expect it to happen. I don't know where Cam's mental state is in terms of is he satisfied or dissatisfied, but he hasn't spoken to us at all. I've approached him several times, and he doesn't want to talk about it. But Mike Tomlin said he expects him to play and be chomping at the bit to play.
Well, Mike Tomlin might be confident. I don't know that Cam Heyward is confident. He said on his podcast that aired Tuesday morning when he was asked if he'll be out there on Sunday, he said, we'll see. So I guess we'll see. It was also notable on the Pat McAfee show. I think it was on Monday, Jerry. Adam Schefter floated the idea that he also would not play. Obviously ploys by the agent to put a little pressure on the Steelers there. I expect Cam Heyward to play, but I think there's going to be a little drama before Sunday.
Ray, he really doesn't have much recourse. His recourse is not to play, and if he decides not to play and the Steelers want to put him on some type of reserve suspended list, guess what, Ray? He begins to forfeit that $13.4 million roster bonus he signed because in order to collect the bonus, you have to be on the roster.
Right.
And if they put him on some type of list like that, if he elects not to play, then he starts to forfeit that money. And if you do it basically on a per-game basis, well, that's probably somewhere between $750,000 and $800,000 a game that he will forfeit. I don't expect him to do that. I expect Cam to play. I know Cam wants to play, but his issues with the organization, I guess he's going to have to resolve those in some form. I don't think they're going to give in with any type of contract, Ray. We'll see how it plays out, but I expect Cam to be there.
The only thing that would make this interesting, Jerry, if Cam really wanted to play hardball, he would come up with some kind of injury that would force them not to put him on any kind of a NFI list. He would actually be on the 53-man roster or IR. I don't expect Cam to do that. Listen, he was voted a team captain on Monday when they were announced. He's a leader of this football team. I'm not sure if it's going to be resolved one way or the other, but my guess is he's going to be out there on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, Ray, to your last hypothetical there, right, as a team captain, that would be very difficult for him to feign an injury because certainly that is not in his DNA.
Right.
But to do something like that, if he wanted to play hardball, that would not go over big as a team captain. So, yeah, he puts him in a little bit of a compromising position. I learned a long time ago that other players aren't bothered when teammates aren't bothered by other players seeking the money they feel they deserve because they're all going to be in the same boat one day or are in the same boat.
Right.
So I don't know that there's any trickle-down effect in the locker room, but it is Cam. I don't know that players are rallying behind him or it's causing a problem there. I've gotten no sense of that. But nonetheless, it's a ticklish situation for Cam, for the Steelers too, but for Cam especially.
Yeah, listen, you never want this type of a situation to hover over your first football game, Jerry. Listen, Cam Heyward has been here since 2011. He was their first draft pick after their most recent appearance in the Super Bowl. He's almost like Mr. Steeler, the way he is put out there in the community by the Steelers. So
Walter Payton Man of the Year, too.
Yes, absolutely. So one way or another, this is going to be resolved. Either they give him a little bit of next year's roster bonus quietly, or, listen, Cam just says, hey, okay, I didn't get my way. I'm just going to play and see if I could be an All-Pro again.
Yeah, even if they give him a portion of next year's roster bonus, again, a roster bonus, then that's going to immediately inflate his cap number, though, because that's guaranteed money right up front. So that's another issue that they would be facing. One other one, too, Ray, Derek Harmon, their number one pick. He will not play, which is what they expected. Chance that he could be back next week. Mike Tomlin said he is you can rule him as out. He listed Nick Herbig as questionable. He has that hamstring injury. I'm not so sure that Nick Herbig's going to be able to play. I think you're going to see him sit out as well. But that's really the only injuries. But Harmon's injury, couple that with is Cam going to play? Is he not going to play? all of a sudden what they were hoping to be a strength would be a little bit of a weakness, at least in game one.
And I think what this does, this elevates a couple of rookies up the food chain a little bit. You look at their official depth chart. I know that doesn't always mean everything. Rookie 5th-round pick Y.A. Black is Harmon's backup on the depth chart. Now, Mike Tomlin said they're going to go by a committee approach, so it could be Isaiah Loudermilk, it could be Daniel Iquale, but the point is, Jerry, I think Y.A. Black is going to play a lot of snaps early in the season until Derek Harmon gets back. And then when you flip that over to outside linebacker, if Nick Herbig cannot play, rookie 4th-round pick Jack Sawyer, who they really like, is going to play a lot on special teams. He would be the top outside linebacker.
Yeah, and of course, different packages with for Jack Sawyer and Nick Herbig. You know, Nick Herbig is a finesse speed guy. Jack Sawyer is a big power guy, and so they'll use them, depending on the situations. But to your point, they really like Jack Sawyer. And of course, Ray, just like Steeler fans, the coaches are curious to see their big combo, Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf, finally performing in a game. I know Steeler fans, they got to see some of it at training camp, but they haven't seen it in a game. They invested a lot of money in that trade, and of course, DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers, the whole league is watching him. So finally seeing those two in a game is going to be a big thing for Sunday's game.
Yeah, and people in the news conference today, I think he was asked this question twice in different ways. Why are you so confident? No, we haven't seen it. And Mike just said, listen, I've seen enough of it in practice, in meetings, that he thinks it's going to work. So I think that is a big question as the opener approaches, Jerry. How is the chemistry between DK and Aaron, Aaron and Jonnu Smith, Aaron and all the new guys really on the offense?
Yeah, and even Calvin Austin, too, who was not played in the preseason as well. A lot of expected of him, at least in terms of being that number 2 guy. But Mike Tomlin kind of poo-pooing that today, saying, you have Jonnu Smith, you have Calvin Austin, you have Roman Wilson. Of course, he throws in Pat Freiermuth, and he says, there's a lot of different ways to get this done, and having a, quote, number 2 isn't that big a deal.
No, and listen, it's a number 2 in name. You have Pat Freiermuth, you have Jonnu Smith. Mike Tomlin has been making it a point, Jerry, and he did it again today. They really like the training camp that Roman Wilson has. My suspicion is I think if you're going to pick some breakout players for the Steelers this year, if you do a top 3, I think Roman Wilson could be in there.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers saying during training camp that he expects Roman Wilson. He says he has the talent to be a big-time player in the NFL, and we'll see how he develops and really what is his first full season. That's going to do it from the South Side. For Ray Fittipaldo, I'm Gerry Dulac. You're watching Post-Gazette.com.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit Post-Gazette.com.